Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Blue Ribbon Lounge podcast.
Welcome back to the lounge.
The lounge is open for business.
Yes, and we have a line around the block.
Yeah. Do you see that sign I got behind you, Dave?
The bar is open.
Yeah.
The bar is open.
Yeah, if you flip it around, it says something different.
Oh, the bar is closed.
Yes. I leave it on the bar is open because the lounge is always open.
Yes, unless it's rocking.
If the lounge is a rockin', you best come a knockin'.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to put a trigger warning on this one.
A trigger warning.
Yeah. Or maybe we should do it before the meat and taters.
Yeah, unless you were going to say something offensive beforehand.
Poop.
Boogers.
I guess I let him slip every once in a while, the curse words.
Yeah, but...
So we're going to keep it clean until the meat and potatoes, and then we'll do a trigger warning.
Well, fuck. Are you sure that we can last that long?
I don't know, Dave. It's some shit we could have to try to do.
Okay, we'll just try that.
Thanks to One Night Standards
Yes.
for always letting us use their song. We don't thank them enough, I feel like.
Yes, the intros and the outros and all their other beautiful music they've made over the years.
Yeah, the one we use is Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
And I don't know off the top of my head which album that's off of. The one I prefer to listen to is Sunset, though.
Sunset?
Yeah, that's my favorite Standards album.
Check that. How many albums do they have? Do you know offhand?
4.
Not bad.
I'm guessing, but that sounds right.
Yeah, because our intro is PBR, right?
No.
No.
Our intro is Blue Ribbon.
Okay.
Which I think maybe it's a little bit more country.
Yeah. Sorry.
You just ruined all the audio, Dave. Start over. Take it from the top. Welcome to the... I think Blue Ribbon is like maybe a nod to like a fair.
Oh, okay.
PBR, I could only find... I don't know if it was live or maybe it was just like... I think it was being played at a recording studio.
Okay.
On YouTube.
I think the one that I saw was live because it seemed like they were at a bar.
Probably. And they always have that like old-timey PBR commercial intro.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. There's a couple of commercials I have saved on my YouTube that I just listen to them for some reason.
The old-timey ones?
Yeah.
Like the Wilkins coffee?
Well, no.
Oh.
They're the PBR ones.
Oh,
but...
just PBR commercials. Yeah. Okay. I thought you just meant old commercials in general.
Oh, no. Do you watch the Wilkins coffee?
I've seen it. It's where Jim Henson got his start.
Oh, really? Tell me about this.
Yeah, so there's like puppets, and there's like a grumpy puppet, and then there's a puppet that is kind of like the prototype for Kermit the Frog.
Okay.
And he's always like, "Hey, mister, are you drinking Wilkins coffee?" And the guy's like, "No." And then he like shoots him with a cannon. Or like sets his house on fire or drops a brick on him. And he's like, yeah, it's very violent.
That sounds funny.
But
that sounds really good.
Funny, yeah.
Yes, thank you, One Night Standards.
Yes, thank you.
And if you want to hear from them directly, check out the episode we got, Top 5 Albums.
Yes, if you want to hear their input on the podcast.
Yeah, I need to re-listen to that because it was such a great night. It was such a fun night.
And it is very inside baseball, too. About the scene and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good local stuffs that they talk about. And then I think Morphine is one that I remember listening to right after we did the episode.
Yeah.
And then I need to get back into it because I remember it being pretty good.
Oh, check out the albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Paranoid Android, Radiohead.
Oh, okay.
That Hughes was talking about.
Okay.
Or Hollywood Dave.
Hollywood Dave.
That one's a good one.
Okay.
Or that whole album, yeah, because it...
Top 5 album.
Yeah, I listened.
Baby.
That one was a good one, yeah.
All right, what'd you do, Dave? Did you go out and about at all?
Yeah, I did. I'm trying to think when the last time we recorded was, but
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Maybe
ago.
Maybe not, though.
Maybe not. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because I think I was in town 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Oh, planted a bucket garden.
Planted a bucket garden?
Yeah.
What, you put 5-gallon buckets in the ground or something?
No, you plant your garden in the buckets.
In the buckets. Oh, okay.
So he did potatoes and
I was watching a guy pull up carrots on the TikTok,
yeah.
and they looked so delicious.
Yeah. My old lady wanted to do, we didn't do it obviously, but where you like put like a clothes hamper or like a clothes basket inside your bucket.
Okay.
And then so when it's time to harvest your potatoes, you can just supposedly like pull out the clothes basket and it just sifts out everything but the potatoes.
It's not usually that easy to pull out, Dave.
I know. I figured it's much.
I've never done that, pulled out, but
right.
I feel like that would not work.
Like one of those life hacks that don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a TikTok that I follow that's called they're called Party Shirt, and they do like factor cap, and cap is just a nice way of saying crap.
Oh, okay.
But they test TikTok. I feel like I'm just saying exactly what they say in the videos. They test TikTok trends to see if they're real or bullshit.
Oh, okay.
And some of them are real, some of them are bullshit, and
yeah,
pretty interesting to see them do it.
Those life hacks back in the day when those were popular, I used to watch the guys debunk them. I'd be like,
okay.
Let's try to do this.
Yeah, and some of them are just like way harder than doing it a better way.
Yeah, like how do you open a package of like a scissor, like those plastic packages?
Okay,
where
yeah.
it's like kind of shrink wrapped. They said like use a can opener, and it's like no,
you just take the handles and you pop the back out.
Right, or stab the scissors through the plastic handle. Yeah,
that's so crazy.
So yeah, got that planted.
Bucket garden.
But it's been cold, so it's good they've been in buckets so we can bring them inside.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like tonight, we'll probably have to bring them inside.
Midwest weather.
Yeah, and hopefully this weekend we can get like some already started like tomatoes and green peppers and cucumbers and stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good. Oh, that's a lot. Do you usually do that much?
At least 3 plants, but this year we wanted to do the potatoes and an onion because it was all like sprouting. And so we're like,
okay.
Let's see what happens when we plug this into the ground.
Yeah, that's rad. Plug it in.
Yeah, and then you get an onion out. And we started some seeds, but they haven't sprouted yet, so that's why we're gonna go get the cheater ones that are already started to grow.
Okay. My kid, when we went to Las Vegas, we got him a little cactus starter kit. Sure shit, there's a bunch of little cacti,
Popping up.
Yeah,
well, that's cool.
little green things. I guess maybe they could not be cacti yet.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, little sprouts.
Yeah,
That was kind of cool.
that's weird. Speaking of cactus, have you ever seen the inside of a penguin's mouth?
No.
No, you should Google that. And the people at home, pause it and then give it a Google. And it's way freaky. And I have a theory that they went around and photoshopped a bunch of penguin mouths because they're scary.
I mean, this one is for sure scary. It looks like they got big, long teeth.
Yeah, like they have just rows and rows of teeth.
Because this one looks different than this one. Just a little bit, though.
Yeah. But I guess it's
But it could be for, like, keeping the fish in.
Yeah, but also, like...
the penguin tongue. It looks like it's got barbs on it.
I'm guessing it's also so they can, like, pull it back out to feed their young.
Could be.
Or just, like, to
really slice it up.
super blender the
Yeah.
crap out of it, but...
Yeah, penguin mouths are kind of like little tongue cacti.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Podcast. I got distracted by looking at alien penguin tongues.
Yeah. Then we also walked across the new I-74 bridge.
Oh, I'm so jealous, Dave.
The pedestrian path is open.
And you tagged it.
I tagged it.
You're a good man.
Yes, get up there. Put our sticker on there first.
Giving you a promotion. You'll make 100% more money now off the podcast.
So 100% of zero. Awesome. But they do have like a glass like circle that you
Yeah.
can stand on and look down into the river.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not big on that kind of thing.
Well, what's wrong with it?
Well, it's kind of like the Sears Tower or like the Grand Canyon. You're just gonna go stand on glass and trust it. I mean,
I bet it'd hold your weight.
I'm sure, but it just opened. And what if I was the one guy that stood on it and
God, Dave, I forgot you were so special.
the glass glue that they had was faulty and I plummeted. And then my old lady has to like sue the architecture
And get millions?
right, but I'd be dead.
Yeah, but your family would be secure.
True.
Financially stable.
I mean,
Just not mentally stable.
no, never.
But have you ever seen the bridge? I probably saw this shit on TikTok. But it's like a bridge and people walk on it and then like the glass is like a TV screen and it starts to pretend to break.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's terrifying to
It's
me.
like I think that's in China or something.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. People are walking on it and then they like scramble for the
Yeah.
like
Oh
the
god.
rail.
That drives me crazy.
There is a bridge like that is not TVs, like it's actual glass,
Yeah.
and it hangs off the side of a cliff. And I've just seen people walk. It's like it's not like a dangerous one, but it's like a super tourist trap.
Mhm.
But it's basically like, yeah, you're hanging off into the clouds and just walking on this glass bridge.
It's just like a big U shape or something.
It hugs like this cliff,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
like super high up. Like I think it like leads to like a Buddhist temple or something.
That sounds rad.
But they did it all fancy for the
They
tourists.
did it all for the nookie.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
the tourists.
Okay.
They're Buddhists.
I
They're usually
guess-
monks. They're celibate.
I guess I feel like I'm off the charts now because I'm drinking this Red Bull.
Like you're all
and,
amped up.
And Dave can attest that I was almost falling asleep in the car before we started doing this.
Yes, you just couldn't stop yawning.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
were you out and about?
Yeah, I went to fabulous Des Moines, Iowa. Fuck, Dubuque. I do that all the time. Fabulous Dubuque, Iowa.
Yes.
For Vintage Torque Fest. And it's always such a great time. After going to Vegas and the roller coaster of the time we had there, I was just so exhausted. And I was like, I don't even want to go to Torque Fest. And I get there and see all of my friends
Yeah.
and have such a good time. So we camped. We went up on Thursday, and set up the Abernathy's booth, www.shopabernathy's.com for all your Blue Ribbon Lounge podcast sticker needs. And then we set up the camper, and we stayed until Sunday morning. And it was just seeing all my friends. I got to give a shout out. I saw two people that I hadn't seen in a long time. Their names are Gary and Tina. And I hadn't seen them at the shows for a long time. I love those guys. I used to always make Tina a balloon animal flower because I do a lot of balloon animals and stuff there. I didn't this year because the weather was kind of nasty.
Yeah.
But they said they listened to the podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they I don't know if it was at a shop or just out in like their like on their property or somewhere else or what, but they said they listened to a couple episodes, so I really wanted to make sure I give them a shout out. And it was so good to see them. They're like my hot rod parents. I love them so much. Yeah.
Take you under their wing.
Yeah. I gotta say they had the coolest camper I've ever seen. It's almost just like two benches, I believe. So it's like the size of a large picnic table.
Okay.
Like square. And then it like you would be as tall as it. Right?
Right from the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then when you step into this fucking camper, it goes down. So like the floor is between the axles.
Okay.
And we got some podcasts down here. And so the floor is between the axles. So you couldn't stand, you would probably see over it or so. But when
Yeah.
you step into it, you could stand up fully.
Interesting.
And then it's got like benches on either side and a table in the middle, I believe. And then the table drops down and is just a bed.
Oh,
From what I remember, that's what I remember. The step down was the coolest part. And it was a beautiful camper. I don't stop thinking about that camper.
So you kind of like step into it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And it sounds very like basic, like
Yeah, it's all you need.
simplistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen those super simple ones that like bikers pull behind their like Harleys.
Oh, okay.
Where it looks like it's just big enough to crawl in and like go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be sleeping on the ground, I say.
Well, yeah, or on a tent.
Mm-hmm.
So you said the weather, did it turn into
the weather was it wasn't awful. The first day it misted pretty long, but it wasn't a bad rain. And then on Friday, that was on Friday, and then Saturday it dumped rain probably 3 times for like 30 minutes to an hour each time.
Yeah.
Oh, so muddy. Then they have the mini bike races or a mini bike hill climb.
Yeah.
And dudes were just like, you could see them riding around later, and it was just like mud from like, it was halfway up the bike, and like there was a line going across the bike and over their pants legs, and then back across the back of the bike. And everybody was getting super muddy. A lot of people were getting stuck trying to get in and out. And as far as I know, everybody did. And that's always a great time.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, this year I painted an art panel. So I'm a professional artist now. You can quit my job.
An art panel. Is that your blue ribbon lounge or like a tiki bar one?
Yeah. You had probably seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a werewolf guy in a tiki bar, and he had like a drink, and there was like a puffer fish and a sailfish and plants and stuff. And I was really happy with it. I had done one last year, which was the logo, the design this year was like a Cadillac symbol.
Okay.
And so that's where I kind of saw the idea of a tiki bar. And then the last year was a drum head. So that was round, so I made it look like a porthole in a boat. And there was like a swamp thing looking guy, or like a creature from the Black Lagoon looking guy.
Yeah.
And there was like a big tiki head underwater, and that was pretty cool. I was really happy to do that. Made the charity $200.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, somebody paid $200 for my art piece.
Yeah.
Slam dunk.
Awesome.
And then we capped the whole weekend off with this big fire that happens every year. Some people made these big VTF pallets and put them on the top of this huge. This pile of wood was probably 10 to 15 feet tall, and then probably 50-foot round.
So is it like your Burning Man?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I think the campgrounds just kind of clean up between whatever happens before Torquefest and Torquefest, and then we end up just lighting it on fire.
Just whatever's in the pile there.
Yeah, there was a couch for sure, but it was underneath everything else.
Up.
Yeah, and then there was some guy ended up coming. We finally got it lit. It was super hard to get lit because it was raining a bunch.
Yeah.
And we finally got it lit, and some guy came down, and he threw a bunch of tires full of gas onto the fire.
Oh, jeez.
And that sounds super dangerous, but it was fucking cool.
Yeah. It also sounds stinky.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, the wind was blowing away from us, but...
Yeah, because, I mean, when we were in North Carolina and we had our huge-ass bonfire, my brother-in-law threw a cup of gas on it.
Yeah.
And it just took off,
Hell
like,
yeah.
instantly. But... until like all that burnt off, like it was just black smoke.
Oh,
until
okay.
it finally started just burning wood instead of, because I think they also put like carburetor clean. They were just trying to get it going.
Yeah,
and because you can't just have a little fire and then expect it, because then you just have a small fire. You need the whole bonfire to be on the catch.
Yeah, and they had like chain races, which was awesome, and a bunch of great bands. From this show, I think what was the band I suggested from Viva? I always want to call them the Televisionaries.
Yes.
And then so this one, I suggest you listen to the Hoot and Hollers.
Hoot and Hollers.
Yeah, they were really good. There was a guitar, drums, and a baritone sax.
Okay.
So one of the saxophones they used was like probably as tall as me, and it was like 100 years old, 102 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good time.
That's very cool.
Yeah. You watch any Attack on Titan, Dave?
I did not. Like I said, when I saw that Attack on Titans in 10 minutes, it just seemed a lot. And I don't know how many seasons there are. And like, I've only seen 2 episodes of
You're more like
Stranger Things.
Yeah, you're more like a VHS guy anyway.
VHS.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have a couple. I have VCR still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was segueing into I didn't watch it either, but I was segueing into we started watching the X-Files.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty happy with that so far.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, because we have stuff like The Sopranos.
I just imagine you have like a whole fucking wall of DVDs.
Pretty much. Like I could use like another bookshelf.
I could use.
Yeah, because you have to like move them to see what's behind them.
Oh, you got them double layered?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as series goes, Freaks and Geeks,
That's a good one. Quality.
and the like follow up to that, I feel like is Undeclared,
Yeah.
because it's like this kind of the same people.
Yeah.
It's the same writer at least, and then The Sopranos is really big.
That's a good one.
Because every once in a while we'll just like run through it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
It's not too bad. I mean, Roseanne is a commitment.
Well, that's for sure.
It's like 9 seasons or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. And that was not too bad. We're kind of at the last season, and so I've kind of like stopped, but the old lady still watches it while she folds clothes and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to stay committed to a lot of those longer ones.
Yeah, and ones that you have to pay attention too much, because sometimes, you throw some on to fall asleep to, and then if you miss something, then you got to go back and start it over again. And
Yeah, I mostly just don't like to fall asleep to the TV. Maybe it's like a FOMO type thing. I don't want to miss out. And I also don't want to watch it again.
true, I get that too, because sometimes if it's on, I'll have to watch the TV.
Yeah,
But
that's the way I am. But the wife likes to watch it and fall asleep too. So she usually falls asleep within like the first 15, 20 minutes. So
yeah.
I can turn it off if it's something I don't like, or finish the episode if it is.
Yeah, that happens too. Like we'll put something on, the old lady falls asleep, and then
Yeah.
can turn it off.
Speaking of finishing to completion, we are about to hit our 1-year anniversary podcast.
Yes, that should be next podcast.
I believe so. Can you believe it's been a year, Dave?
No, I can't actually.
It seemed like it went by really quick.
Yeah.
So 52 weeks in a year. We do bi-weekly. So that's the 26th episode.
Yeah.
Excellent. That
Seems-
math adds up.
Yeah, it seems about right.
So let us know what kind of questions you want us to answer, because we're going to be doing a special fun thing for the fans. We did post it in our Facebook group.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook group, Blue Ribbon Lounge Podcast, and go there and you'll get everything probably a couple of weeks early,
Yeah.
because we're not really good at planning.
A couple weeks. Yeah, and you'll also get like memes.
Dankest memes.
Yes, and I don't know, like show.
I like posting pictures of when I tag stickers.
Yeah, I started doing that too, because I
Yes.
saw when you went to Vegas, you posted a bunch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I like to post like little trailers, sneak peeks, like little hints
Oh, okay.
about like what the upcoming episode
yeah.
might be.
The good things you find when you're researching the episode.
Yeah, or if I see something cool about a cryptid or something,
Yeah.
I figure that's a good place to post that kind of thing.
Yeah, I just listened to this. It was a podcast with a guy for the episode today, and gosh, I can't remember what it was called. I should have written it down. I followed it on my podcast player, but it was like a George Norrie type thing, but the guy was from Canada.
Okay.
We'll have to figure that out. Maybe I'll share one if I find anything good. It was like Star Talk or something. Star Talk is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
it was.
but it was like, I think I know what you're talking about, because it had not like space talk, but it was something similar to that.
It had like all those words in there.
Yeah, spaced out radio.
Yeah, Spaced Out Radio. That's a pretty cool name, I think.
Yeah,
And I liked the host.
yeah, because when the psychologist was describing it, I was wondering if he was on Coast to Coast.
Oh, okay.
But then he's
oh,
like,
you listened to that same one too?
yeah,
I really liked it.
yeah, it was cool.
And it was a really funny lead up.
Right. Especially since, like,
He wasn't an expert at all.
No.
But I found the things he talked about to be really valuable.
yeah, and I think the way the host was able to direct the conversation.
Yeah. That guy was obviously a good host.
Yeah, because at first he was like thinking that the guy was an expert, but then when he learned he wasn't, then he just kind of like,
And it was he like almost didn't even ask if he was an expert or not.
yeah, he was just like, hey, you want to be on our show?
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
You ready to get into the meat and potatoes?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Did you want to
Oh, trigger warning.
for
I don't know, violence or maybe almost sexual content or we're going to be talking about serial killers.
yeah, so if
I just
you
want to be
have-
up front in case somebody's driving in the car with their kid. I feel like most episodes are family friendly.
I mean the language, but I mean I'm not
Anybody that would listen to this, I feel like probably cusses in front of their kids, right?
yeah. And as long as your kids know,
Just not to say them.
or there's a time and a place.
Yeah, they're special words.
Yeah, you don't say them in front of your boss or a teacher or your pastor
parents.
or your parents. But
Yeah.
unless your parents are cool,
Yeah, well,
you can be like, "Ma, where's the goddamn meatloaf?"
where are the Cheetos?
yeah.
Yeah, so just we're gonna be talking about serial killers, and so there might be some weird stuff we talk about.
Yeah. The FBI's definition for serial killing
Oh,
is a series of 2 or more murders committed as separate events, usually, but not always, by one offender acting alone.
okay.
Because there's also a mass murderer,
Yeah,
which would be like,
like a shooting or something.
yeah, I guess this is where your trigger warnings come in, like a
Yeah.
school shooting or like that Vegas shooting, like that's a mass murder. And then there's a killing spree.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, because like technically natural born killers, like that movie, they went on a killing spree. They were not necessarily serial killers because they were just driving down Route 666 and just killing everybody, like going on a spree.
Yeah,
Where a serial killer, it's usually like a killing and then a cool down period and then another murder. You know, it's not just like, okay, there's a guy at this gas station, there's a guy over here at this, and this guy over here at the rest stop. That's a spree.
okay.
That's kind of, and they can overlap, but not necessarily. Like
The killings.
well, like a spree. Say you do like a quick 1-2, but then you have a cool down period.
Oh, okay.
And then it starts up again, so it could be like a serial killer.
Yeah, a lot of what I read really made it sound like killing was almost intimate for a serial killer.
Yeah,
Like a killing spree is more so like you're having fun doing it.
right. And like you said, most of what I heard is it's a lot of it's up close.
Mm-hmm.
Because even like
And a lot of almost even time consuming in some portions.
yeah, like or ritualistic,
Ritualistic for sure.
where there's always, like you see in the movies, where they'll smash the photographs or cover their heads or chop their hands off.
Yeah, cut them in certain ways or
Yeah, steal pieces of flesh or something. Take a trophy.
Dave.
Knocking the mic.
Like one of the I don't know, we need to figure out a format or something. I don't know exactly even where to start. But I think it was Dahmer
Yeah.
is one that kept coming up for me, and they would talk about how he would like kill somebody and then spend a lot of time with their body.
Yeah. Because it was explained that he is more like, he was driven more by intimacy, where he wanted a permanent, like, slave almost, but like a partner, a permanent, beautiful, eternal partner.
Oh, is that something he said or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that the killing was just a byproduct of trying to keep the people close to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he started experimenting with like drills and acid.
Yeah.
Like trying to make a zombie that would do whatever he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was also getting more extreme with his sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted a partner, but because he was so extreme,
They
inevitably,
kept dying.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then he still wanted to keep them close. That's why he kept their heads or their genitals or
Yeah.
ate parts of them.
Yeah. Something with Dahmer, it was like a lot of what I found was head traumas
Yeah.
to people who end up being serial killers. So Jeffrey Dahmer had a hernia surgery at the age of 3. So that could have been possibly traumatizing. And then he started in early ages, started dismembering animals and fantasizing about dismembering people before he started murdering them.
Yeah. I think one of the first things besides dismembering animals, he like clubbed a bicyclist over the head and then just laid with the body.
Oh,
Not like
really?
until the guy like started to become conscious and they ran away.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like he didn't believe that he could be loved.
Right.
And so he was trying to create a world in where he felt like he could be loved.
Yeah, which is what they say the first step of being like not of being a serial killer, but one of the first things they do is they fantasize a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get kind of start withdrawing from the real world and getting more and more into their fantasies and then they start planning how to like enact these fantasies. And then they just one day just there's either like some kind of like event that happens
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you go pick up a prostitute and you're just thinking you're just gonna be intimate with them, but then you might bite them and then they freak out and then next thing you know you're strangling them and you're like, here we go. And then you go through a cycle, I guess, where it's exhilarating, but then you feel like they almost feel ashamed.
Yeah.
But then they start fantasizing and then replaying it in their head.
Mm-hmm.
And then even changing some of the details to fit like a controlling like narrative, or even like picking it apart and being like, I could do this different, I could do this, and then start the planning again and fantasizing until you go out there and do it again.
Yeah.
Because you need that rush.
Yeah, so just some hot tips for serial killers, or hot trivia or something.
Hot tips for serial
Yeah.
killers.
Here's some tips.
For all you serial killers out there, don't touch that dial.
5 out of 6 serial killers are men. Serial killers develop their fantasies as early as 5 years old. And the average age a serial killer first kills their victim is around 28.
Ooh, okay.
And then they generally retire in their 40s or 50s when their sex drive starts to decline.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you know how many serial killers there were in like American history?
Oh, no.
Okay. It's definitely probably more than I think. Because like I could, if I thought good about it, I could probably spot off quite a few.
Yeah.
But in my head, I only ever think that there's like 3. You know what I mean? I heard that a serial killer is a type of psychopath.
Yeah.
And there's only like 1% of the Earth's population are psychopaths.
I did hear something about that where not all psychopaths are serial killers, but all serial killers are psychopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like saying things in that way.
Saying things in that way. And there's also kind of a thing where it's like, I heard this quote and I don't know the lady who said it because it was on like a clip of that show, The Doctors, and I think they had a guest on, but it didn't say who the guest was.
Is that Dr. Oz's first show or something?
No, it was like a lesser Dr. Oz show, but it was
Okay.
just called The Doctors.
Okay.
It had a bunch of different doctors on there.
All right, keep going.
But she said that physiology or like genes like load the gun, but then the environment causes it to fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what I had heard too. Like you can be born with a lot of the mental capacities of a serial killer,
Right.
but unless your household is traumatizing, you won't be a serial killer. And you can be born with all the ways to get through life, and if your household is traumatizing, then you can still get by. It's only when you kind of put them together is when you have the high possibility of a serial killer.
Yeah. I also heard that there's this like a violent enzyme called monoamine oxidase A. But just because you don't have that doesn't mean that it just means that you're more prone to violence. But
I got 8 of them.
you got 8 of them. But it's more like you're more prone to violence if violence is enacted onto you. You're going to react in a violent way.
Yeah, I would imagine a lot of that is like if you grow up and your dad beats the shit out of you, then you're going to beat the shit out of your kid because that's all you know, right?
Right.
Or that's how you think you solve your problems.
Right. Or I was thinking kind of like on the lines of like alcoholism, because that usually runs in the family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily that it's because your dad made you drink with them a bunch. It's because you have that kind of gene or like mental mentality,
Yeah.
like where if you could be prone to also be an alcoholic, but it's like if you're in the right environment and you get like help or you talk to people or you're like can get it under control, you're not necessarily going to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's kind of not like this. It's a good analogy, I guess, for what they say, like how serial killers react.
Going back to that head injury thing, a little bit about the brain. The prefrontal cortex covers the functional brain lobes. And so that area of your brain often controls the ego, personality, impulse control, empathy, and social awareness. And it keeps you in line when you want to react to uncontrollable rage or like knee-jerk reactions. So it's like your sensibility. Damage to that area can cause a lack of impulse control, drastic behavior, aggression, and impaired moral judgment.
Yeah.
So that's why that is what I had looked up in hearing that many serial killers had been hit in the head, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. What do they call it? CTE?
I think I have heard that.
I don't know if that's the right acronym, but that's like what football players get.
Okay, yeah.
Or they get
I think you're right.
They get so many concussions, then they end up like, driving with guns in their car and beating their wives and
that would make sense.
becoming a little bit more violent.
Yeah.
Because, on that same doctor show, the lady was saying that not all, but most serial killers show to have like lower activity in that frontal lobe area.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, that's where it regulates those kind of rage and emotions and stuff.
Yeah, so a few serial killers that have had brain damage or damage to the head. Robert Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Night Stalker.
He had a dresser fall on his head when he was 2 years old.
Oh.
And then again at 5 years old, a swing hit him in the head and knocked him unconscious.
All right.
John Wayne Gacy was hit in the head by his father at 11 years old, which caused a blood clot in his brain for 5 years.
Ooh.
And this is where the trigger warning really comes out, I feel like.
Yeah.
David Berkowitz, also known as the Son of Sam.
Yeah.
When he was 6-year-old, he was hit by a car. At some point, ran directly into a wall. I don't know any more about that story.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know if he maybe tripped into it or what. He was also hit in the head with a pipe at some point. I don't know if it was some sort of fight or what, but
yeah.
Albert Fish fell out of a tree and got a concussion. And then
he's the needle in the groin guy, right?
Albert Fish?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And then Dennis Rader, the BTK killer. As an infant, he was dropped, and also at one point, he turned blue, and his mother didn't take him to the hospital.
Oh,
that would cause a lot of brain damage as well.
To be oxygen deprived.
Yeah. So those are just some of the bigger heavy hitters on the serial killer list,
right?
And just about all of them have some sort of brain damage.
Yeah. There was a kid in Russia, in Stalingrad. What's the capital?
I can only think of the Kremlin, which is the actual thing.
Yeah.
It's not Moscow.
Oh, maybe it is Moscow.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. But in lower Moscow, there's a huge park, which is like, they say like 3 times the size of
Times Square?
Central Park.
Central Park.
Yeah, in New York City.
The opposite of Times Square.
But like right on the edge there is like lower income housing.
Okay.
But there was a kid when he was little, he fell off the swing and he stood up and he was fine, but then the swing came back and cracked him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And then he actually had a slight disability and he lived with his parents. But then in this park, like over like 40 some odd people had gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started finding the bodies. And then it turns out it was this kid who was, luring people into the forest and then like hitting them on the head with a hammer. And yeah, they say that hit, the swing to the head probably has a lot to do with how he was just not empathetic at all.
Yeah.
Because they actually say a lot of serial killers just don't have that empathy.
Yeah. So like some characteristics of a serial killer, and psychopaths. So I got like a little bit of a definition of a psychopath is someone who is grandiose and lacking sympathy for others. So they kind of create their own world and they're like the king of it.
Yeah, they're almost...
Or at least maybe the main focus as opposed to the king.
Right, like narcissistic.
Yeah. And they're good at faking to fit in.
Yeah, because I think that's one of those myths where people say that serial killers usually have a upper IQ, like a higher IQ.
Yeah.
But I think not necessarily, but they do have a good social IQ. Like they're maybe not book smart, but they're street smart and they know how to read people and they know how to like weasel in and out of a situation, just with their charismatic to it.
Well, I think it's kind of all over the spectrum with that because I like Charles Manson, although I don't know if you'd consider him a serial killer.
They do, but
Yeah.
he more like commanded his minions to kill
podcasts,
like a couple of people.
Yeah. So he was pretty charismatic. He like kind of figured out a way to, like he would be aggressive towards people when you first meet him. And if you ran away, then he would know that he couldn't control you.
Okay.
Because you don't have like a submissive, instinct right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah. Manson would figure out how to control people, but somebody like, Jeffrey Dahmer, he was in the military, but he was kind of thin and act like kind of frail and weak. to get people to like lower their guard before he grabbed them. So they were able to manipulate their situations according to maybe how they preferred to kill.
Right. Or maybe what worked for them, where, like you were saying, Manson, I think he also used a lot of psychedelics to also like get his family to cooperate with what he was doing. And like how you're saying, Dahmer, since he was just one guy and he wasn't the biggest guy, he would kind of play down that, like, oh, don't hurt me, you can kick my ass, before, you know, would strike or attack.
Yeah.
Or even just be unopposing enough where he was driving with body parts that he was going to dispose of, and the cops pulled him over, and he was able to be like, oh no, it's just trash that I'm taking to the dump, and it's not a bit, and like talked him out of it.
Yeah, he probably just like even kind of believed it, you know. Because I feel it seems like they can create that world in their head and like disassociate.
Yeah.
But I heard that most serial killers are actually like average IQ and like underachievers.
Yeah.
Because they feel like the real world, I don't know, is maybe like not fair, or like they shouldn't have to partake in it because they know better.
Yeah, it doesn't align with their ideology or their little fantasy.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of times the reason that they go into the fantasy is because they're like outcasts and don't quite fit in. And yeah, a lot of them, it did say they do poorly in school.
Yeah.
Have trouble holding down a job.
Lack of realistic goals. Like they'll set goals, but it'll be like completely unattainable.
Yeah. I think there's a video that you can find online where it's a whole movie of Jeffrey Dahmer, like maybe just a month before he gets caught.
Mm-hmm.
And he's at his dad's house, and he's just talking to him about like getting a job and how good things are going, and just, yeah, like you said, maybe believes that lie, or can believe it enough to get other people to not suspect whatever's going on.
Yeah. That reminds me of a video. Have you ever seen that video of Charles Manson? And he's like on the stand in trial, and he's like kind of going crazy. He's like, who am I? I'm a bum. I'm a tramp.
Oh.
I'm a boxcar and a jug of wine.
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's super good. I'll send it to you. I'll try to post it on the Facebook too.
Yeah.
I'm really tempted to put it in the little like podcast section.
Yeah, little outro spot.
I'm really tempted to, but I think it's just too long.
Okay.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Listen to find out.
Yeah, who knows? You have to make it to the end.
Yes. Good video. So I did read that, and maybe you had heard it in that interview on Star Speak. Spaced
Out Radio.
Spaced Out Radio,
Yes.
baby. Shout out. Pornography in video games didn't. Well, I guess one, probably wasn't a lot of video games when there was that large swath of
back in the
serial killers
60s and 70s.
And maybe even not a lot of pornography.
Not
Maybe VHS or books.
Yeah.
I believe like maybe Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy had stacks of homosexual porn.
Yeah, and like Ted Bundy too. But what they were kind of saying on that is that it's not causation, is not correlation.
Yeah, because most people, the 99% of people who aren't the 1% psychopaths, can take themselves out of that world.
Yeah, or you can, let's say, I'll be generous, the opposite way, and say only 60% of the people watch porn. I'm sure it's more than that.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
But you can, see porn and then not obsess about it, or make it into like an unhealthy obsession. And so it's like, just because it's there, and if like you're a little boy and you get your first cell phone, and for like a week you're just crazy about porn, it doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily turn into a serial killer.
Yeah.
Or have an unhealthy, like, sexual outlook.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's sounded like those two things, which if you listen to the D&D episode, Satanic Panic, I feel like they've always been really quick to blame that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like
violence on video games.
Right, but there's so much violence on TV too, but they don't blame the news for showing you that cuz like that guy was explaining on that Spaced Out Radio, back in the day they had Pac-Man, and when Pac-Man ate a ghost, you would be like, yeah, that's fake. Mm-hmm. And even though like video games like God of War or something are like, you know, realistic and there's blood and you can chop a guy's arm off, you still know it's fake. You know that's not real, and it's not, you know, the same as like if you were, I don't know, you turn on the news and it shows like a rush, like that one video that went around about the guy getting his throat cut or whatever.
Like in Afghanistan?
Something, yeah. That is, like, is a lot more disturbing than watching a video game, because you know the video game's fake. That's real.
Yeah, you know it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like I don't know if I talked about it last time, but there was a period of time where I got kind of hooked on car crash videos.
Yeah.
And it's like, boy, you watch 5-10 minutes worth of like 20-second shorts of car crash videos, and you get a little weak in the knees, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but you didn't like go out and like want to smash cars together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of those fail videos though.
Oh god.
It's like when they're like the bicycle ones where they're jumping ramps into the pond and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a ramp to jump my bike into the pond.
Yeah, like I always think of the one where the guy jumps off like a diving board into a pool of ice.
Oh
god, and when he hits it, it's just like, oh
yeah, like his butt bone has to
makes my whole body hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was nice to know that I'm less likely to become a serial killer now.
Yeah.
Past the age of 28. Not really a psychopath.
No.
Probably not born with it.
With that gene, yeah.
Maybe he was born with it. Maybe it's psychopath. Maybelline?
Yeah.
Do you ever listen to any of those serial killer, like true crime podcasts?
I've been kind of on a kick since like researching this. There's one guy that's always consistent in my like queue.
Okay.
Mr. Ballin.
Mr. Ballin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ballen.
Okay.
And he'll tell like stories, and not all of them are about murder and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like some of them, a lot of them might end in death, because he likes to do places where you're not supposed to go and the people who did kind of stuff.
Okay.
But he had one.
Is that like Amazon or like volcanoes or something? Or
yeah, or it's like he has like a whole bunch of ones of people scuba dive spelunking.
Okay.
And so then they'll go down, and they're either not equipped to go down that far, and it gets so dark, and then you kick up so much silt, and once you start running out of oxygen, you actually become super euphoric and confused, and people just will go off the wrong tunnel and can't find the way back. Or
like going into like underwater caves or something.
Yeah.
Whoa, that sounds crazy.
Yeah. I would go scuba diving, but I would probably not do it through a cave.
Yeah. Well, you ever see that video of Will Smith at the world's deepest swimming pool?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like got buses and fucking pirate ships and stuff underneath.
Yeah. I mean, that
looks cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But just like
a little bit more controlled.
Right. Than just a random cave.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't listen to a lot, but my wife does. True Crime Garage is really, really good.
True Crime Garage?
Yeah, it's the guys that do it have great voices. It's put together very well. They have great chemistry. And the music's all really good. One of the guys does it's like electronic music.
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
That's cool. the one I just recently got into is That Chapter.
Okay.
That's a YouTube one.
Oh, okay.
And he does a lot of crimes, and they're always super interesting, like, and have weird twists to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one guy, it was about leaves. This guy was a tree trimmer.
Oh, okay.
But then he got fired. But then, like, he somehow latched onto these people and, like, either went to rob the place or he went there to kill the lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, like, killed the lady and then killed her friend that ended up showing up while he was there.
Okay.
And then the kids came home from school and he, like, I think he just beat up the son and kidnapped the daughter. But then when they went, because he left a bag of tarps, and I guess it was a small enough town where they could just go to Walmart and be like, who recently purchased 3 tarps? Like, and so they could just like, and then they got the surveillance video. But then when they went into his house, he had like 3 foot of leaves covering like his whole floor.
Whoa.
And he had like shopping bags full of leaves like stapled up in his bathroom. And then in the basement, he had a bunch of fucking leaves, and this girl just happened. She was still alive, just hanging out. He was like some kind of weird, like,
Tree person.
yeah, where it was connected to his erogenous zone.
Oh, oof, weird.
Yeah. So that one was interesting.
Yeah, that sounds super interesting. What was it called again?
That Chapter.
That Chapter. I'm gonna check that tree one out for sure.
Yeah. Let's just look it up. Maybe I'll send it to you.
Yeah, do that. Post it in the group.
Oh, yeah. Post it to the group.
Do that.
So.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? You're not a serial killer?
Oh, I don't think so. I haven't become one yet. How about you?
I mean, not yet, but I feel
Closer every day.
exactly. Well, if there was ever an apocalyptic scenario and then you had to, like, you know, fight for your family, sometimes I wonder if, like, I could just stop. It just, like, protected my family. Or if I'd be like, now we're killing everybody. Bill, you're eating too many potatoes over there.
I'd be the guy trying to get everybody to survive and then end up getting killed by you.
Well, I mean, you have to read the Walking Dead comics.
I read them.
How Rick Grimes just, like, they're in the middle of a fighting zombies and he just shoots the troublemaker to be like, oops, I guess he got crossfire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as, like, actual serial, no, I don't think I'd be
you're like a governor, dude.
a governor.
Yeah. Off The Walking Dead?
Oh, I'd get a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your eye cut out by a spoon.
Ooh, yeah. No. There's only like 2 things I wanted to touch on.
Dude,
where
Adam, man.
the whole bedwetting thing, I think is
okay.
also, I think that because it's also the arson thing where, like, they also like to play with fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think those 2 things are kind of urban legends
Okay.
where, like, back in the day or whatever, your parents would be like, don't play with fire because you'll wet your bed.
Don't play with fire because you'll wet your bed?
Yeah, don't be like an arsonist. Don't just because they would say that arsonists would wet their bed.
I don't know if I ever heard anybody using that as an excuse or nothing, but
Well, like a deterrent. Kind of like if you keep doing that, you'll go blind.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think that so then those 2 got kind of put together, and then they also, like, used it as a sign to be like, oh, well, Tommy set that trash can behind Aldi's on fire. We got to keep an eye on him. He might be a psychopath. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so I think those are like 2 that I think are myths about
Yeah.
serial killers.
The animal one is pretty spot on, though.
Yeah, I believe that one.
That was the other thing, Dave.
That was the 2 things.
Oh.
Wetting the bed and setting fires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that now.
Right.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting to see, like, I mean, I believe everybody has a lot of these to a point, you know, just because you have a good frontal lobe and you can control your knee-jerk reactions and your anger and stuff like that. It doesn't mean it's immediate, you know, like like desire for adrenaline thrills is one of the things that I had for serial killers. But like people jump out of planes, they also probably don't kill people.
Yeah, but they're like seeking that adrenaline, that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
People post booty pics on the internet for those likes, those dopamine hits.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. How many guys can you get to like your butt pic?
Yeah, right. Because I mean, it kind of not. I don't know about butt pics, but you put something on there, and then it gets a bunch of likes, and you see that, and you're like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
People they see me, kind of thing.
But yeah, if you think you know somebody that might be a serial killer, email the Blue Ribbon Lounge.
Or you yourself are a serial killer.
Oh, we'll have you on the pod.
Yes, in a public place.
In a public place.
Yes.
Make sure you email the Blue Ribbon Lounge at blueribbonloungemoline@gmail.com.
Yes.
Check out the Facebook page. That's probably the easiest and quickest way to get a hold of us, right?
Yeah, and that's a good place to like leave comments and start up some conversations. And
Yeah. If you get stickers, post pics of where you put them.
yeah, or just a picture of you like
Holding it in your hand.
In your hand.
A picture of you holding it in your hand in your kitchen. A picture of you holding it in your hand in the restaurant.
Yes, or just prop it up next to an interesting knickknack you have.
Ooh, knickknacks.
Yeah. And what? Check out the
Website?
website. I'm like, you already said email. What is it? It's website.
Yeah.
BlueRibbonLounge.com.
Yeah, and you can check out the episodes there, and you can link to a bunch of other stuff, getting merch from Abernathy's, or you link all over stuff. I should put a link to the podcast Facebook page.
Yeah, because right now it goes to like Instagram.
Yeah.
And the shopabernathy's.com.
Yeah, I'll link up that damn podcast. I'll link that Facebook group to the website.
Okay. And if you, by chance, some slim, far out chance, are watching or listening to this on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, comment. I'm sure everywhere you're listening to it, except for maybe the Facebook page, you can comment. So.
Yeah, leave comments.
Or not the Facebook page, the website.
Right. But there is it just will take you to the
Podbean.
Or on the website, if you do contact us, it takes you to Blue Ribbon Lounge Moline
Email.
At Gmail.
Email Gmail.
Yes.
Hmail.
Hotmail?
Hotmail. The hottest mails.
Yeah, so if you're looking for that, blueribbonlounge.com.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I hope you have a great day. Be good to yourselves.
Yes, and remember, don't forget to be awesome.
See ya.
See ya.
So good, dude. These
Yeah.
fucking these fucking audio
So
audio
much
signals
better.
are so good.
It's just buttery audio signals.